charging away. My Bitcoin bowl is all I have left. So
Okay, let's go. And we are live now. Welcome to the show, Matt, and hope we have people listening and watching right now. We have a few viewers. So we are here with Matt today, and Matt is the guy from Twerpz, which is this awesome collectible series on wax.
Yeah. Hi, Anders. I just had your video going on in the background too, so it was super echoey for me. I had to get rid of my entire browser. Thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of your art. I think it's a nice series, and I love people that are making fun of a lot of different stuff. I don't like that to be that political correct all the time. So. These things are awesome, and I just saw like a second ago there's a notification up here, and that is if anything is sold on Atomic Assets on wax, so it just pops up on the feed.
Got it.
So Matt, let everyone know what is Twerpz.
Twerpz, right? So Twerpz are deranged digital trading cards, right? Everybody is familiar with NFTs, right? So we kind of take them just a little extra step there, and we're making fun of crypto personalities and also general, regular influencers, well-known personalities, and we're having fun, right? That's what all of this is about. It's about having excellent art, and then we try not to take it too far. Maybe we ride on that edge a little bit sometimes. It's all in good fun. Some of the things that we do are very suggestive. Like we don't want to be like overtly explicit, right? I mean, that wouldn't be fun for anybody's wives or anybody's husbands who are collecting these things, right? So, initially the idea was we would focus on crypto personalities, right? And as we went along, we talked a lot, and that's something that we do on our team, right? We have a lot of team members. We have 25 total team members, 18 artists. We have marketers, networkers, we have a designer, and basically everybody is working towards this launch, right? Basically what I have done is constructed this, the revenue sharing model, so that basically our team is getting 60% of the revenues.
That is nice.
Right? So, there's a very interesting dynamic when you have that kind of thing going on, where the team is also they're also going to benefit from the launch itself, rather than me paying them a salary, right? There's a couple different things that sort of happen in a business when you have that kind of dynamic set up, right?
Yeah.
So for one, you're going to see better quality art, right? The art is being done for the team. It's not, I'm getting paid to do this and now my job is done and lots of luck to you. You know, hope you do well in the launch. It's, we're all heavily involved in it, you know, all the way through from now until launch.
Yeah, and I really like that people get involved in more of the process. I mean, if you think of the average salesman, they usually are sale, and whenever they are done, they just forget about it and leave.
Right.
And,
Right.
and this creates like it's not just you get this job and then you forget about it, like you said. I think it's great that people want to contribute more and they get something for it.
You know, one of the things that's really neat is the fact that a lot of our artists come from the Ethereum world, right? So, I mean, Wax is still trying to find its way, and you know, it's, the community is amazing, but a lot of the artists got their start, you know, on some of these other NFT based platforms. And what we found was that there is a big bridge to gap in order to get them to understand that Wax is an entirely different blockchain, number one, but two, you know, the onboarding experience is easy, right? So they can just come right in, create a wallet, and they're basically done. And so one of the good stories, that I won't say who this was, but one of our artists came in and he was starting to you know, do art for us, and then he goes, okay, so you know, I can put this in my Ethereum wallet. And I went, uh-oh. No, this is an entirely different blockchain, you know. So there is sort of an additional onboarding component there when you're bringing teammates from other you know, blockchains, right?
Yeah.
Other technologies. So, but so far, and I've even seen some of our artists go on to test the waters and create their own NFTs on Wax. And so I'm really pleased to help sort of be that bridge to bring additional, you know, what do you call, more audience, a bigger audience, you know, more adoption, right?
Yeah. I think that makes sense, and I really like that we bridge projects together, because I do not understand the tribalism in the crypto space,
Right.
not at all. I think there's benefit from using a lot of different projects for different things.
Definitely.
I mean, the big benefit from Wax is how easy it is to set up, and that you can transfer things so fast and so easily.
That's right. That's right. I was totally blown away by the experience, you know, and I had heard of EOS, and I was basically an Ethereum fanboy. So I was that guy that was,
your nickname on Twitter would never suggest such a thing, right?
Right, exactly, right. You know, and so whenever I would hear about these other projects, I go, well, maybe I'll look at it later, but if it's not on Ethereum, not interested. And really what brought me to Wax was that big IP, right, was Twerpz and Garbage Pail Kids. And I remember when I saw that first announcement that Garbage Pail Kids is coming, and I automatically assumed it's on Ethereum, right? Well, as I started digging more, it's on Wax. What is that? I had never even heard of the Wax blockchain, right?
Yeah.
So that was February or March of this year. And then of course, early to mid-May, you know, I think it was May 12th.
Yeah, May 12th, yeah.
Garbage Pail Kids hit the scene and we were off and running, right? And I was hooked. And so, I mean, I'll be honest, I spend a lot of my time in the Wax space now. Yeah, I mean, especially with this project going. And I'm sure some of your viewers might want to know why we decided to build on Wax, right? Because being an Ethereum fanboy for 4 years, and now all of a sudden this new thing comes, and months later I'm now building on it. I mean, what is that really all about, right? So one of the things, and we already mentioned that the onboarding experience is excellent, right? Yeah. It's super easy. You create a wallet like you would a Web2 based account, and you know, the thing of it is that, let's be honest, it's a custodial wallet. I got that from one of your videos. I remember.
Very important aspect to know, actually.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is that if you're okay with that, then fine. But you also have the option to go ahead and create the ledger. You know, for those who are purists like myself, I love I love being in control of my own keys, right?
Yeah,
So
and worth adding there is using the cloud wallet is custodial is nothing different from using an exchange.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
So
that's
I
right.
mean, we all well, I guess there's purists in the DEX form as well, but almost all of us interact with some kind of exchange that are custodial, and we are fine with that. We transfer things there, we use them, and then we take them out if we're like purists. Like I seldom leave any value on exchanges. I have made some exceptions in the last few months, but usually I
Yeah.
leave nothing and I take them out as soon as I've traded.
Yeah.
Because if I leave them there, I may lose them, and I won't do that if I take them out.
Well, and we've seen so many hacks, right?
Yeah.
That one hack after the other, and unfortunately, the wider public kind of looks at it as blockchain has systemic issues, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes time for people to realize, no, these are centralized entities. You know, they're holding your crypto, and that problems happen, and things, you know, they get hacked. And so unfortunately that gives crypto a bad name. But I think as time goes on, people understand more, you know, that that there are nuances. There's a lot of different things going on here, right? And that reminds me of I don't know if there was anybody around back in 2016 when the DAO hack happened, right? And Ethereum just got the name got tarnished so badly because people didn't understand that, yes, you can build these smart contracts on Ethereum that can be hacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the blockchain itself is secure, and I mean, obviously we can't say with 100% certainty that it's safe, but
Nothing is ever.
right.
But it's secure right now.
Yeah, for now, right? Yeah, exactly. So but so going back to what we were talking about is the ease of onboarding into Wax. You know, that basically Topps had proven that Garbage Pail Kids, that people wanted these, you know, that the idea of finding rare cards in packs, you know, is something that not only did I always want, and I've been waiting for that on Ethereum, and it never happened. I mean, there were a couple, but the technology wasn't readily available to just kind of adopt for my own project. And so here on Wax, that stuff is more easily attainable with a reasonable amount of investment. You have to spend some money to hire a developer to create these things for you. And you know, I'm sure in time there will probably be user interfaces that make creating your own packs, you know, as simple as dialing in a couple of variables and pressing.
I can say that is a sooner a thing than later, because I know teams that are working on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same guys that work on everything else that is currently improving the NFT space on Wax.
Yeah. The thing is, I didn't want to wait for that to be around, right? I wanted to get the jump on it, right? So early adopter gets the worm, you know, if you play your cards right. And you know, I didn't wait that long before I started to really move on crypto Twerpz. And so it's really neat the way that it all just kind of like, I don't want to say came together effortlessly, but the artists really liked this idea of being able to create their own art, to not have a bunch of controls to say, no, you can't do this. No, I don't like this name. You know, we sort of work with them to make sure that obviously we want a certain level of humor, you know, there has to be a little bit of humor there. And some of the artists kind of struggle with that humor element, but I would say that the process is fairly decentralized in terms of the input that our team has on the final version of these cards, right? The art. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to you showing some of those.
I actually did it quickly when we started for people while you were talking, but we will go into it and show them more in a bit, and you can talk about each card and what they mean to you and who created them and everything.
Sure.
So that is great. And the first time I heard about Twerpz, I wonder if that was not in June or early July, perhaps. I think it was June even.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah,
I think Mike mentioned it for me very early on.
We were under wraps for a little while, right? Just kind of in stealth mode, just getting our ducks in a row. And Still getting to know everybody on the team and trying to figure out, our strategies and our game plan. So we were I remember the time right before we went public, and everybody was just nervous. Like, is this really going to land? Is this idea really what people want? Do we have something that's special enough that sets ourselves apart from, what other projects are doing in the space? So, but with 18 artists on board, and the various different art styles, and also one additional thing that we're going to be doing is and we may be the first to do this. I don't know. We haven't seen Garbage Pail Kids Series 2 yet, but we want to do the digital boxes, right? So basically, what are we doing? We're emulating real life collecting, right? In the physical sense that and I'm a big collector, by the way. I've always loved to buy boxes. You open the box, and there are all these packs in it, and you're like a kid in a candy store, right? You're opening these packs, trying to find the rare card, right?
Yeah, for me that is something new, because sure, when I was younger, I bought Pokemons, I bought Pogs, I bought the Magic the Gathering, but I always bought them a pack, and it was exciting to open them, but it never left me with like a big impression or anything. So for me, when the Garbage Pail Kids came, I was told Mike, like Big Mike is a guy that we both know in the community,
right?
That I'm not a collector. I don't understand collecting. I will buy some to support the project because I want them to sell out. I want everything to go smooth and everything. Ended up spending like the first week, like from waking up to going to bed, just opening, selling, and buying, and starting to build a stash. And on the way until now, I really enjoyed the process. I mean, my expectations in March and April, I was like, okay, this is fun for other people, not really for me. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm more of a gamer, and I want to be able to use the items for something. But now I really enjoy it.
But you kind of got sucked into it a little bit. You didn't foresee that happening. It's a surprise. And I think, you could write papers about this, but what is it really that is the thing that's getting people hooked, right? I think part of it is the fact that there is a bit of a gambling aspect to it. There is a dopamine release when you open up that pack and you think, well, I didn't get what I wanted this time, but if maybe I can just open another couple more and I will get what I'm looking for. And that just keeps going, right? And so, I bought a really large amount of Series 1 packs when they were released on May 12th, and I opened way more than I planned. It wasn't even funny. I set a limit, and I just went way over that limit. I thought, I'm going to keep these packs, and next thing you know, what happened to my packs? They're gone. You only have so many left. So it's there's definitely something special there going on. And when I was young, I actually had this idea of creating my own trading card series based off of Garbage Pail Kids, right? And so, 35 years later, 30 some odd years later, it's interesting how those things return to you, right? When you're a kid, watching certain movies, playing certain sports, right? Collecting certain things, listening to certain music, like that all stays with you when you're young, and only in the last couple of years has all of that really returned to me. So the music, the movies, the card collecting, all of that has really hit me big time in the last year or two. So it's fun. It's a fun return back to old days. And
and like, since what I said, I'm a gamer. For me, going back is like, I used to go from when I was, I don't know when I did the first like the LAN, where you go to a place and you put up a lot of computers, a lot of people all weekend just play together. I think I did it first time when exactly. I was like 7 or something the first time I did it. My brothers, I have 2 brothers, they usually hosted some of the early ones before they even was internet like accessible. They played online with the 56 kilobyte modems and everything. and at that time, we gathered 50 people in the small place where I grew up, and all played all weekend. And last year, I actually took my girlfriend to DreamHack for the first time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she loved it. I mean, DreamHack is this LAN party with 25,000 people.
Okay.
There's artists from all over the world coming and playing live music, DJs. I mean, it's a huge thing, and it's that really like brings a lot of emotions, and I love it. And when we wanted to go to this year again, because my girlfriend is a gamer as well. But this year everything is canceled. Everything
not happening.
Yeah, but if you go back to that box you're talking about, how will that work? Like, how many packs are you planning on having in one box and everything?
Right. So we've got two different types of packs, right? We're calling one the peanut pack, and we're calling the other one the big nuts pack. You know, because we're kind of crazy like that.
Yeah.
But the peanut pack is going to have 5 cards in it. The big nuts pack is going to have 20 cards. And then we also have the small box, the small peanut box, and the big nuts box, right? And so the way that, and I'll give you a little glimpse into sort of the development process, because this is, you know, I don't fully understand it, but I know what our restrictions were. And so our developer said, well, you know, the easy way to do this is to have, because we have a pack opener interface. And so it's, for some reason, and I may be getting the wording wrong, but it's easier when you have things in the interface that's divisible by 5, like to have them in a certain way and not have, you know, something missing where you 14 or 16, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm getting at is that for the boxes that we have to do now, instead of saying that we can do like 10 packs or 20 packs per box, we actually have to say 9 packs, you know, or 19, because what we're doing is that last one that's filling the gap is going to be an exclusive card that you can only get in boxes. Okay. So from a technical standpoint, what it is these boxes are fungible tokens. You unwrap the fungible token and you have one non-fungible exclusive card, NFT, and you have the rest are fungible packs. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's a little different, you know, and I'm excited to explore that, you know, that side of things. And so when you take that box and you open it up in our interface, right, you're gonna get packs instead of opening a pack up and then there are your cards, right? And then you take the packs and then you open those up. Or if you want to keep the packs closed, you can do that too, right? That seems to be a pretty good strategy for some people, right?
For everything except Crash Gordon, I guess.
Yeah, man, you said it. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
I even think it was a good idea on Tiger King and on Shatner, even though it's not as good as like Series 1 GPK. The price of packs right now is crazy. The same is kind of for Cogs and for Blockchain Heroes. But Crash Gordon, not so much.
We've really tried to learn a lot from the other pack sales that have come before us, right? And to see like what works, what doesn't work, you know, how can we improve the space, right? Because we do really want to evolve the space a little bit forward. We don't want to just follow what everybody else is doing and repeat the same thing over. And then of course you also have that side, which is budget side, right? And what can we really do with the amount of budget that we have in this project? And also how long is it going to take to do some of these things, right? And so there's a lot to think about, you know, in this project that when I first started, I was just eyes wide open, you know, oh, wow, we can do all of this stuff. And then as you kind of go, as time goes on, you go, well, you know, we want to launch this year, you know, we need to be a little bit more prudent about the choices that we make, right? So
and on that launch, we actually have a question. Do we know when it will come?
Yeah. So right now we're saying late Q4 of this year. Right?
So it's a Christmas gift for my girlfriend then.
Could be right before Christmas. Could be 5-10 days before Christmas. You know, that's That's what we're thinking right now. And up until that point, we're going to be releasing these promos, right? And so that's another fun thing that I didn't really account for, was the appetite for all these promos. And but also what they do, right, is you can bootstrap a community by using these gifts, right? These digital assets. And it's really next level stuff to see people just clamoring for these, right? I mean, especially if you only do like 100 of a particular one. So like, for instance, for our very first promo, it's a sketch card called Spocktalic.
Yeah, pretty fun one.
Yeah, it's a hybrid Spock Vitalic card, and we only did 130 of those. And those were given away for the first 130 members in our Telegram chat. And that was sort of like a quiet thing that we didn't really let the cat out of the bag, because if you tell everybody that, then the swarms are just going to come in, right? So once we hit 130, hey, thanks for being the first 130 in the group, and you get a free Spocktalic. So we really like doing these little fun things. Like right now, we have a giveaway that is a meme creation contest. And so if you can create your own meme, right? Every person that enters can do up to 3 memes, can enter 3 memes.
How do you enter them?
Well, you just post them in our Telegram group. So you create your own. It has to be original, and then you do a hashtag meme, and then that's basically your official entry ticket, right? And then we're going to go and we're going to collect them all up, and our team is going to decide who the finalists are going to be. And then we're going to go and we're going to pick 5 winners, and then we're going to give them all good stuff, right?
So okay, you're talking about this meme competition now. To enter, you go to your Telegram chat. I just dropped it in the chat if anyone interested where it is. You can submit 3 memes. When is the deadline?
So the deadline is going to be Thursday. All the details are in the pinned post. So if they go into the Telegram, click the pinned post, it tells you down to the minute, whatever time zone or whatever, I don't even remember these things half the time, but it's Thursday. What time? It's there on the pin post. Check it out. And, you get 3 entries, and we've seen some pretty funny stuff already. I mean, I even used one in my email that I sent out to our subscribers last night, because these guys are super talented and very creative, right? So it's fun. It takes a couple minutes to do it. And if you could even adapt an existing meme, and maybe say something about Twerpz on it, right? And I mean, you don't want to rip off of other people's work, but make it as original as you can be. And so that's the contest going on now until Thursday.
Yeah, and if people don't know, you can easily search in a Telegram room by just clicking Control F when you're in it on a computer, and then just hashtag meme, and you will actually see all the memes. You can just click them. So that is an easy way to do it for people if you want to see what other people have contributed. So that's fun. Cool. Probably I should just add something as well. It's fun sometimes to do that.
It'd be great. It'd be great to see you in there. I know there's a ton of stuff to do every day, and I know you're a busy guy. And also, I want to take the time to thank you for helping us out in our project very recently. We ran into a little wall, and we needed some help, and you were there. So I appreciate that very much. You're a great guy to work with, super patient. And, I was half awake at 3 a.m. on a Zoom call with you, but we got it done. And you know what? I learned a lot from you, and I love learning. I never stop learning, right? And so, especially when it comes to little programming things like that, and setting up Ubuntu and command-line is a relatively foreign thing to me, even though I've used it on and off for many years. But I enjoy that kind of thing. So it was fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and for anyone that want to know, I'm showing it on half the screen right now. We have a new service that is nfts.waxsweden.org. You can also go nfts.anio.io. And you can see we help with minting large quantities of NFTs and airdropping them, and we have finished tools for atomic assets, and we have some tools for simple assets as well, if anyone like a project that wants to do larger quantities of anything. And okay, so The sale is coming around Christmas, so everyone can buy packs for their close ones. So
you want me to mention the new promo that we've just dropped last night? It's fresh, hot off the press.
let's share my screen and you
Okay.
can show them. I think this is the correct one. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You did it.
Yeah, everything works for all the other people as well. So if you just go to cryptotwerpz.com/gallery, I will drop it in the chat as well if anyone is watching. This is the one you talked about before.
Yep, that's Spoctalic, right? That's by Mox Gonzalez, right? He's a very in-demand NFT artist right now. He's on a lot of different platforms, and I've had the pleasure of being involved in some of his limited sales that literally sell out in seconds. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, seconds, right? So 10 seconds by the time you click the buy button. And I mean, this sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it does get a little annoying. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to me, right? Yeah. I mean, you get there early, you want to get in, you want to buy, and oh, guess what? Somebody else was willing to pay the $30 gas price to steal it from underneath you.
Yeah. So, I would love to talk more about the NFT space on Ethereum later because you have been there. So let's dig into that after we have done the
no problem. So this elevated Elon, this is going to be our email sign up promo. This is you sign up on our website at cryptotwerpz.com and you're entered to win one of these. We haven't decided how many we're going to mint yet. I think a lot of that's going to be dependent on how big our email list ends up being. And but we are going to give some of those away to some lucky email subscribers.
Yeah.
So enter in. This one is made by Eris Michelatos, and the effect was also done by Mox. So Eris and Mox, two of our elite artists on our team, and they're doing a lot of work here.
Yeah.
So as you can see there, there's the rocket, the hyperspace.
Yeah, I mean everyone understands who this is.
Yeah, he doesn't need any introduction, but he's in the past he's tweeted his love for Doge, right?
Yeah.
So he's on the rocket. It says WasteX. Pretty funny stuff. He's smoking a joint. You can't go wrong. So,
and before we go on, you said it was made by Aris.
Aris, yeah.
I want to shout out to him. He helped me create my small shibis that I made, that I have as well of my avatar.
Very cool. Aris is a cool guy. He's always willing to help out people in projects, that he loves. So great guy. I can't say enough about these artists. Really, they this project would be dead in the water if it wasn't for them actually doing the art. We could have started and they could have said, yeah, we want to be involved in this, and then crickets. But what did they do? They jumped to it and they really cranked out the art. And that was in such a way that it's been happening at a fast clip, which is a pleasant surprise. So here's another one. This one is again by Eris. This is Da Hung Father, and we're getting a little gross here, right? So there are some references here to the Godfather, right? And who is Da? Da Hong Fei is the founder of the Neo blockchain.
Yeah.
So that's his face right there. And then there's a little homage being paid there to the Godfather there with the horse there. And then there's a little Neo Matrix kind of nod there, right, with the code. And we're just having fun here. So the little black-white gradient, this one's a black-white card, and Da Hung Father, right? So I mean, I'll let you come to the conclusion of why we named it that
one. people have to think about that themselves.
Don't think too hard though. It's right in your face,
Yeah.
So here's these two here, 4Z and 5Z, and I'll just give you a little once over about how we named these.
Yeah.
So S0 corresponds to Series 0, right? So this is what we're launching in Q4 is Series 0. We're not starting with Series 1. And this Series Zero promos correspond to our, obviously our Series Zero launch cards. So they're all kind of part of one set.
Yeah.
And the Z is just basically a reference that is calling to the fact that it's a promo card, because our launch cards are going to be X and Y. So when you see any number with a Z, you automatically know that that's going to be a promo card. And 4 obviously corresponds to the number of the card.
Yeah.
And we're going to have many of these in our up until we launch, right? And so the Gandalf, I'll give you some background to this. This card was done by a really wonderful artist that I found online, Samuel Diaz. He's from Colombia. That's another cool thing to mention, is where all of our artists come from. So we have an artist from Venezuela, we have artists from Mexico, an artist from India. It's really great to get a variety of backgrounds, right? Because you really see it in the art. And these 2 promos were a kind of a collaboration with Nifty Wizards. I think you know who Curdy is. Who doesn't know who Curdy is? And basically, Curdy has pioneered the dust token, right? The chat mineable dust token.
Yeah.
And so this was done for him. As you can see here, it's Gandalf. He's getting high on this the spice, or also known as melange, from the movie Dune, right? So these little fairies are sprinkling it in. He's getting high, and that's why he's glazed, right? He's getting little his eyes are blue, and you got little Frodo in the background, kind of like WTF,
Yeah, that's good. If I think I can do it like this. This is the one that I created for the Nifty Wizards as well. It's like it's my avatar with the badge that it's the first drop that was sold for dust tokens for those that are in the dust community.
Very cool. I like it. I like your art, man. You do a lot of different things.
I'm having fun. Like this painting behind me. It's also we have Fat Matt there, and we have a few other things. And that is something I put together. I mean, I use other people's art and I put them together, but I got the permission to actually sell 1X of that physical painting, so I will do that later in an NFT auction.
There's an explosion of art going on right now, and that'll tie into the next promo. But let's go over the Lucky Chard. So Lucky Chard is our airdropper card. So that means that the owner of this card is entitled to untold airdrops, right? Untold Twerpz airdrops. And we're gonna do right by our owners. So this is gonna go on sale this Saturday on some of the various wax marketplaces, right? Unfortunately, you're not gonna have it on Atomic Hub.
Yeah,
these are
we will say that is on Wax Stash. That's the marketplace.
Yes, sir. Wax Stash, right? Wax. And shout out to Roy. He's done us well and proud. And
you can see here there's a lot of different ones already.
Some stuff already.
And this page, if you just log in the top right corner, you can go and you can look at like Garbage Pail Kids and right now it is automatically sourced for the lowest price, and this is why we talked about Crash Gordon before. We don't need to look at it anymore.
The meme pack, right? You bought it and it just went down. That's all it did, but
it crashed. So yeah,
I'll say I bought.
They actually just added some of my work here, the badges and the.
Oh yeah, let's see
the art here. So
Kevin Winger. Oh, Kevin's on our team. Kevin's on the Twerpz team.
Yeah, and I made this for the promo one. I used his Destiny and I edited it and made a badge.
I like that.
But Wax Stash is in my opinion one of the easiest marketplaces to use. I don't know why it don't get more traction. It's very easy to use. If you want to list something that you already have, you just go like Garbage Pail Kids. You go to inventory. I have something here. I can list a pack if I want, and I can pin it to dollars or wax. It's very easy to do everything here. So shout out
to. It's a real pleasure to work with, for sure. It's a real pleasure.
So that's where you can buy these on Saturday. And what time on Saturday?
So we haven't released the time yet, but I'm fairly certain that it's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right? So that would be 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we're going to scatter these across the various marketplaces. So you already mentioned Wax Stash. We've also got Collectibles.io, and we're working on Simple Market too. And just in the interest of transparency, we are trying to get the mint numbers to show up in Simple Market soon. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that in by Saturday, but Crypto Lions is working on that for us.
Yeah.
So, the mint numbers are important, right? Because in this case, what we're going to be doing is we will sometimes airdrop cards that have the same mint number as your lucky charge.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. So I put out a blog post yesterday that basically highlights all the ins and outs of the Lucky Charm card and the benefits of it.
Yeah, people ask what time it is in Europe, and I can say that Central European summertime. If you drop it at 12 EST, that is 6 p.m. Central European summertime. So
okay, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, in UK that's 5 p.m. So it's a great time. It's midnight in China, but at least it's not the next day, right?
And the thing is, I didn't realize about that at all. We have some friends in China.
Yeah, they like this one, if I understood you correctly.
What's that? Say again.
This is the one that I think that I heard that the Chinese really like the Hung Father.
Right, because Neo, right? So Neo, that's a Chinese, influenced blockchain.
Yeah, and you did something with Wax Eastern as well, right?
I did a text-based AMA, and let me tell you, I don't think I've ever typed so fast in my life, right? Because I had to translate everything, and you still have to press a button in WeChat to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think my hands were cramped after that, but it was a good time, and some really lovely people in that group. And so let's get to the business here. Okay, this is news right here. Is the Daniil Monopoly card, and so the background between this is that we've recently made some friends with this. Daniil Pan, who runs an auction-based Telegram group. The name of it is, I wrote it here. The name of it is Art Gallery Auction House. It's a Telegram chat, and they do original art pieces that they auction off. I think predominantly Ethereum platform based, but they're also engine friendly as well. There's a little badge, an engine badge there below the 25% off. And basically what this is Daniil, right? And it's a joke. It's saying that, he's trying to get a monopoly on the auctions, right? On so you have Sotheby's there and Christie's auction houses. And then we threw,
eBay.
eBay over there on the other side, right? And so the joke is that, he's trying to assert his dominance over these auction houses, right? And in the background, there's a bit of a monopoly theme going on here. In the background is the jail, right? There's a little jail there. Get out of fiat jail, right? So, and then that avatar right there, that little sign on the left there is his avatar for his group, the Art Gallery Auction House.
Nice.
And so as a little collaboration with him, we're going to give him the #1 mint. I already sent it to him yesterday. And then his group is going to get a number of them that he will distribute out as he decides. And then we'll talk more in due time about how those will be available to our community, right? So that's brand new, brand spanking new. The Lucky Chard goes on sale on Saturday. It's I think it's 1,280 wax. It should be around $50 worth wax tokens. And then again, that entitles you to some unknown airdrops that will just send to the owner automatically over periods of time. So
that's great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. That was a fun card to do. This one, okay, so a little Twerpz history here. This bird brain Buterin is the very first art that was made for Crypto Twerpz. That little character there, and it's kind of hard to see because he's moving, but we'll get a chance to see him a little bit more lower when you scroll down. But this is a poster. This is our first NFT poster that we have done. There you go. There's Bird Brain Buterin. I think if you try to put your cursor over.
Yeah, it changed the name.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Yeah. So you can see the X name and the Y name. So the X name is Bird Brain Buterin. Y name is Cowlick Vitalik.
Yeah.
That's the very first Twerpz card ever made. It was a labor of love. It took several weeks plus to get everything the way that I wanted it to be. And that was the one that I used to show the community, and that was these first few cards were the basically the hook that helped build our team, right? So you can't jumpstart a business, an NFT related project like this without actually having some cool art. So
yeah, exactly.
There's the Satoshi card, Satoshi Hakamoto.
I think we jumped over one. This guy.
Yeah, that one is also available. Oh, there you go. Yeah, poster number 2. So this one is also done by Mox Gonzalez. This one turned out just really, really well. I mean, you got the flying saucers in the backgrounds. They're beaming down the rainbows. The clouds are moving. The logo, the banner is moving up and down. His eyes are shifting. It's just really an incredible piece. And this one shows all the artists. When it changes, it lists all of our artists there. So it's a promo poster. You can easily tell the difference between the cards and the posters because the cards, they look like cards, right? They have numbers on them and they have a banner. They're all done very similar ways.
And the border here.
And the border, right?
So Sashimi Satoshi.
Sashimi, right? So hopefully everybody can see there that his arm is made out of sushi. Maybe you got to blow it up, but it's a sushi arm. And he's just sort of like kind of hacking away, you don't want to really give too much background on this and sort of let people kind of draw their own conclusions because there are a lot of hidden messages in here, right? So you could, one of the interpretations is he's hacking away at the fiat system. Right. And so we've seen some really cool interpretations, even ones that I didn't even, anticipate or purposely add. Right. So he's on top of the world there, but he's also got a little problem there in his diaper. That kind of goes back to the Garbage Pail Kids. Right. So, that's a little nod to Garbage Pail Kids, putting these guys in diapers and stuff and just kind of having fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously here.
I have a question here. The color of the banner, does that point to something, or is that just what the artists have done?
Yeah, it's a mix of what the artists wanted or what they asked us to do or what our designer just decided to do. If the artist said, hey, the banner is in your hands, take it away, then we would go ahead and come up with some what we felt fit the art. And so, it's just a combination of stuff. So you've got a shiny one for shiny gold for that one. You've got this really kind of bright orange one that I think works well against that kind of that purplish, really, really nice color background. And there's a story behind this. So I don't know if you know this story. I'm happy to explain.
Yeah, I know that we have one fan of Hoskinson's work in the live chat right now. So, which is good. So what's the story here?
Well, so the story is that he asked for some support for MetaMask, publicly in Twitter, and MetaMask replied, and that's the MetaMask mascot, right? And so the support replied and said, well, we kindly ask you to use the email support, and he kind of blew a gasket. He wasn't too happy about that, given the fact that he's a well-known person in this space. And so, hot-headed Hoskinson just means that he kind of blew his top a little bit there with his reply. And, he also dropped the info that, you're telling the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of IOHK and the creator of Cardano to use the support email. I mean, what's the matter with that with you, you jerk, so he's kind of given it to the Fox there. And then because it happened on Twitter, we took it a step further, and he happens to like, I think those are falcons or hawks that he has in his avatar. And if you're whoever the fan, the guy who knows who he is knows that he's a big fan of these types of birds, right? So the bird is lasering the hell out of the Twitter bird, just for fun. So hot-headed Hoskinson, and then the other name is chapped ass Charles. The name without laughing, because it just rolls off the tongue, right?
And if you're into crypto, you know who this guy is. If you're not, it's likely you have heard his last name, but you have no idea who it is.
Yeah, and we really wanted to do a number on him, because of all the little shenanigans that he pulls, right? So he was an easy target, right? He's on live TV. You can see the camera is on him. The headline is McAfee eats it, and you can make your own, draw your own conclusions as to what he's eating there, based on some comments that he's made, on Twitter. And so we're very proud of that card. McAfee, Irish name, right? So the green banner for him. And he's in a strip club, right? He made a comment about something to the effect that he can get away with taking pictures in strip clubs, so
and he dances on a pole and falls over, and I'm following this guy. I love a lot of his stuff. I don't think I support a lot of what he's doing, but I really love it as entertainment. He's great.
Exactly. And he's got a little bit of white powder there under his nose, as you can see. So, he had a little, I don't know what it was some sort of a PR thing that he did where a picture was released and he was, standing around. I don't know if you saw that. A bunch of girls were standing around him.
He actually have a how to uninstall McAfee antivirus video that is awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, you need to go and search for McAfee uninstall, and I think you will find the video. It's hilarious.
Well, he's low-hanging fruit. I mean, he's just really easy to make fun of, and I hope that he takes this. If we're fortunate enough for him to see it, that he gets a good laugh out of it too, because it's nothing mean-spirited, right? It's just we're having fun, right? And he's standing on a stack of cash there. What else is going on? He's got a big gun because he likes guns. He's wearing the Hugh Hefner style robe. I mean, there are a lot of little things in this card that are done purposely. We really want to add a lot to these cards, right? They mean a lot. So Gasm Adam, right? So Adam Back, right? Core Bitcoin developer, and people have said that he's been known to gaslight. He's a bit of a gaslighter, right? So we did what we do best. He's got a fire hose hooked up to his butt, and he's supplying the the power there for his gas.
It would be fun if this said not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower. If you can see there, the little canisters.
Yeah, it's a butane. Yeah.
But it's buttane,
Yeah, it is. It's true.
So he's lighting some folks up there, and he's having a good laugh, and he's got his little fire truck there, his little miniature fire truck, and he's got that evil, devilish smile, right?
Yeah.
Really fun card. Oh man. Here's another good.
Yeah, what's the story here?
I'm really happy.
I know the story, but everyone might not.
Right. So you've got Justin Sun here, right? And a lot of people know that Justin is the founder of the Tron blockchain.
There's actually a movie out when he says that Tron is a shitcoin and everyone should buy it. It's hilarious since he's the founder.
Is it really him saying that? Is he saying that, or is that just
yeah.
a spoof? Oh, see, so he's a very interesting fellow, right? And he's very unorthodox when it comes to his marketing strategies, right? And so here he is getting in a little bit of trouble here because, you know, he spent a lot of money to have a lunch with Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett is having a good time at his expense, because I think we all know that Warren Buffett is not really a fan of crypto, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why he's having his way with my son here, running him over there with the steamroller. But also, if you look closely, you'll see that the steamroller is spelled STEEM, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of goes back to the Steam blockchain, in that, you know, maybe I can't articulate this properly, but basically Justin had acquired a majority stake in the Steam tokens, and the block that community was just not happy at all.
No, he started to make decisions with exchanges tokens on the Steam blockchain. So they forked into Hive.
They forked into Hive, and what do you see there? Well, there are a bunch of bees that are stinging the hell out of him, right? So he's getting it a couple of different ways. You know, the Steam community is giving it to him pretty bad there, and then he's got the bees stinging him left and right. Right, his lower lip he's got some pretty bad bee stings there.
Yeah,
good times. Overrun Sun, and then check out the other name too.
Is Disjointed Justin.
Disjointed Justin. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. He's being disjointed, all right.
I think I will actually show you this. So let's see if we can actually, if you can hear it, and everyone. So let's see if I'm not sure if you can actually hear it, but I think you can.
I can see it.
My shitcoin.
Is Tron a valid coin or a shitcoin?
Shitcoin.
Why is it a shitcoin?
My shitcoin is zero. I don't know why. But it's a shitcoin.
Well, yeah, I guess you can get the point from there.
I get the idea. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, and I don't know if he drinks alcohol or not, but he seems a little bit intoxicated, and
he does.
Yeah, that was the one I found. I know that there's a better version out there for it.
He's a funny fellow, I tell you. He's another low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, that's another guy that I follow just for entertainment's sake. I mean, he knows how to get attention, that's for sure. Everything he does gets a lot of attention, and it helps that he has some tokens and support from people to put into all the projects he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
His DeFi project, the Sun token and everything you can stake recently, and yeah, he does whatever. So Elevated Elon, we looked at it before.
So this is a different version of the promo card, right? And so this card is the base version, or the common version of the card. So it's so funny. It's so easy to assume that everybody understands, you know, these NFT trading card sets, right? But there may be some viewers out there that don't know that we're going to have different rarities, right? So this is one rarity, and it's a set of 80 cards. And the point of the common set is that they're just still cards, right? They're static cards. There's nothing too crazy going on, right? Now we're also going to be doing these other rarity cards, and one of the names is Nuclear Refracture. You know, we have some fun names, right? And those versions of these cards are going to have different sort of special effects that are applied to them, right? Yeah. So there may be some motion quality going on with this card in the other rarities. And so five total rarities. This is just the common. We haven't released the other special effects. We hope to do that soon, so you can see what they're going to look like. But yeah, this is the
and his other name is Space Dust Musk.
That's right. You got that, huh? Yeah, Space Dust Musk is the Y name to that card. So I
And
think the
then
purple looks really well. Yeah, this one. So, Mark Cubano, I mean, Mark Cuban, what can you say, right? I mean, this guy is a perfect ringer for, the Tony Montana, right? From, what's the name of the movie? Gosh, it's a classic, right?
yeah, I have a brain freezes.
Scarface.
Yeah, exactly.
Scarface. I just needed a second. Yeah. So this one, you got all kinds of fun, bright colors going on. I I joked to Eris one time that this is the McDonald's card, because it's got the red and the yellow is just perfect hue for McDonald's. But
And if you can't see behind the chair, perhaps this yellow goes like an M here as well.
uh-huh. Yeah. See, even you're seeing things that I never saw, right? That's how it works, right? And so Mark Cuban is the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, right? So the NBA team. So we've got a little logo down there. I think what does it say? It says Mags instead of Mavs. It says Mags. And we're having fun here. This is Scarface. There's a little Coke on the table there. That's his in the movie. He has his own private jacuzzi, right? And so, we have a shark coming out, chomping off his leg there. The shark is sort of a reference to Shark.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, thank you. Shark Tank, right? Of course. Shark Tank, which he also has some involvement in too, right? So multiple things going on here. A little fun note is that pinstripe suit literally took hours and hours to do. Eris told me that it took him forever to do that pinstripe suit. Some of these things, it's hard to see how much time goes into these, but many, many hours are spent.
Yeah, I worked on my first real vector illustration design yesterday, and I think I spent 5 hours, and it's not nearly done, which is it's painful I mean, a good artist will be faster than I am because they know how everything works, but there's a lot of time going into these things.
There really is, and being at the front line of this project and watching it be created out of thin air, you really do get a newfound respect for the artists and what they've done, and just how much work and the layers that are added onto these. Here's Pimp Pepe, right? So he doesn't need any introduction at all, right?
Nope.
You got Rare Pepe as a pimp, dollars, smoke, joints. He's got the leopard thong or the cheetah thong or whatever. I guess it's the cheetah leopard. I don't know. And the ladies love him. So this was done by Gus. Gus is such a great guy. All these guys most of these guys are, and girls too, are heavily involved in NFTs. So you'll see them on some of these other NFT platforms.
And I like the second name on this because it makes fun of what people have used Pepe for.
Right, man. Green supremacists. And look what we did to the banner. We gave it a little special treatment.
Yeah.
Just something a little different, makes it a little unique. Zuckerberg, right? So it's no surprise that Zuck has a bit of a reputation for being a little robotic-like.
Mm-hmm.
And some people may even have called him a lizard man at one point or another, right? So,
and if we look at this, we can see that it's very different compared to all the other ones design-wise.
Exactly.
So what's the story here?
Right. So this piece is a painting that was done by Chris. I think he wants to remain anonymous, but we just gave him the idea of a Zuck card, and I kind of threw in this idea of, what if we kind of had a little reference going back to He-Man and Masters of the Universe, that he's wearing one of their outfits, the many faces suit, right? And so, you know, you think of many faces. Well, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, you got many Facebook, so that's the why. That's the why name to that
Oh yeah,
one.
because this does. Yeah, okay, it does now. Many Facebook, yeah.
There you go. Many Facebook, right? It's because he has many faces, and well, you know the rest.
And this
And
one,
then,
I guess people know.
yeah, I think everybody pretty well knows who that is. We needed to go big. We needed to go big with this one, you know. And so I'll just let
I
this
love
one
the
stand
the
on its
Twitter
own.
birds.
You don't want to get in any hot water talking politics, but this one is self-explanatory, right? The Twitter birds and the
I love that
we
there's
had
like music symbols in the name here
yeah,
as
the
well.
symbol, right? The symbol in the name, right? So that's just something different, just something a little different.
Yeah. And here, and personally, I'm actually a big fan of her music, so
Are you?
this is great for me. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a fun one. You know, this was by Mugen, an artist named Mugen, and another well-known artist that has a lot of pieces on different platforms. Known Origin, maybe Rareable, Known Origin, Maker's Place, some of these other ETH-based platforms, and he's doing Billie Eilish for us here. And you know, we're gonna rip on the fact that, you know, she kind of is acting, you know, she kind of acts like a little kid, you know.
Yeah.
She's you know, maybe her clothes are a little oversized, baggy for her, right? So that's pretty easy to, you know, pretty easy angle to go with.
Yeah, she always have a very large clothes. So yeah, I like it. It's like you don't have to guess who this is. You don't even
Right.
need to read the name. You know who this is just based on the hair and the clothes and everything.
Yep, that's what we were going for. Is you know, some people, they may not know the crypto personalities so much, but that's why I wanted to put in some you know, popular people that are, you know, that are known. It
So
just
what's up with Froning?
well, if you've been hiding in a cave, then you don't really know the JK you know, reference there, right? But JK, right? So she's just kind of trolling. She is trolling, you know. And she posted on Twitter, you know, what is all this Bitcoin about? I don't really know. Can somebody explain it to me? You know, and then she just kind of acted pretty aloof about the whole, you know, all the answers, and, you know, just wasn't really, I guess, sold on it. Was sort of being a little sarcastic about it, right? So, you know,
She
this
doesn't
piece,
understand that it's magic money, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's pretty simple to me. It makes sense, but you know, maybe she didn't want to understand what it was. Maybe she was resisting, you know, the Bitcoin the Bitcoin thing. So this one was done by Mihak Jain. She's from India. So shout out to Mihak.
Yeah, that's good. And I
really
love that
cool.
there's I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I love that there's more Harry Potter references in here. So
Yeah, you notice my favorite part of this is the hat.
yeah,
If you look at it, you
he's
see the crying. Yeah, I just love that. That's my favorite part.
There's small
And
details in
the
everything.
drawn out mouth, you know, it's just looks great. Amazing. Yeah, the small details. Exactly.
So
All
what's
right,
up here?
So last card, right? So Suryanto Sir, um, from Indonesia. He's we're making fun of Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman here, right? So Kim Jong-un Union, right? Pretty funny name. I got to give Eris credit. He's he's on it with the names most of the time, and that one was his creation. And so, you know, as you can see, everybody adds a little bit of something, right? Sometimes you have some of our artists will add a name. Sometimes someone will come up with a background, or, you know, our head designer will make a decision on the banner color, you know, and we all add to the card in our own way, right? So this goes back to basically the friendship, right, between the two of them, which is, you know, odd to say the least, but
Who doesn't want to
know.
be friends with the detector, right?
right. Radioactive Rodman is the other name. So
Yeah,
so
but
that's
as people have said in the chat as well, the artwork here is great, and these are not everything. So you are producing more than what we see here, right?
That's right. So we're almost at 50%, our halfway mark for the 40. So we're almost at 20 cards now. We'll be releasing more. We're going to try to release one every week. Maybe we'll do 2 in a week. And then the base set is 40 unique pieces of art, and each card has 2 names, right? So that's
And
80
how many
cards.
varieties are there of
Yeah,
each?
so there are 5. Yeah, there are going to be 5 rarities. I don't want to give you the names because they're real tongue twisters, right?
Mhm.
But simple refracture, you know, nuclear refracture, and then our rarest card is going to be what we're coining a Twerpomation. The Twerpomation is going to be actually very similar to that one that you have there, the Lucky Chart. It's going to be an animated card, and we're going to choose 10 characters from the 40 that we have, and we're going to turn those into Twerpomation cards. So there are going to be, let's go through the numbers here. There are going to be 80 total cards in the common set, 80 cards for simple refractures, 80 cards for our Black Death refracture. That's going to be really fun. We're going to have some skulls and bones. That's going to be a skull bone kind of frame. And then there's going to be 80 cards for our nuclear refractures, and those are the ones that you can only find in boxes. Remember what we talked about that earlier?
Yep.
1 per box. And then we're going to have our Twerpomations. So I know a lot of different kind of lingo going on here, but the Twerpomation is really going to be the equivalent to your, you know, your collector's edition card, which you saw in Garbage Pail Kids, right? So a lot of motion, a lot of movement going on, and a lot of value in those cards, and they're going to be super rare.
Yeah, and I think this is good because when this first launched, I mean, we saw, I think I saw 2 at the start, 2 different ones, and it looked a little bit like you're trying to make the Garbage Pail Kids. You're taking advantage of it. You're just gonna drop something and try to get some money. But now, the more people get to see them and the more designs that come here, you can see that there's a lot of work going on in this project, and what you're talking about, all the designs and 18 artists, everything, that this is a very interesting project, and it is made to be something different, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. We really wanted to separate ourselves as an entirely different project. And sure, we're borrowing some references, influences from some of the other trading cards. I mean, you know, that can't be you know, denied. But we wanted to do this in a different flavor, in a way that it stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope we've done that. You know, we have 18 artists on board. We have barely scratched the surface in terms of the different art styles. So one of the art styles that is coming is a Kevin Winger art style, right? You know, Kevin Winger,
yeah,
very, very unique art style with his painting, right? And so he's going to do a card. I won't say who that the card is going to be yet, but we're going to see this style, right?
So the one I'm showing right now is one of the Kevin art ones, and I'm pretty sure that I looked in my own inventory because this is one that I have.
that's an excellent. That is really, really cool. You could just kind of stare at that for like an hour. There's so much detail, so much time goes into.
And what people need to understand, that this is all made by paint, by hand, and then animated afterwards.
Yep.
So it's not just animated it's not automated some pixels or anything, but it's actually work, and his paintings take between 4 and 6 months, if I recall correctly, to dry.
Yeah,
so the ones he makes take forever to just dry, so that is very, very nice.
I caught a bit of that interview that he did with Joel and Travis, you know, and I was just completely blown away by his process, you know.
Yeah, so
it's
this
really...
is how he like the oil paintings, he make them come to life. I mean, This is so great. So this is like this painting took 4 months to dry.
Yeah.
And that is because there's a thick layer of paint. So now we have gone through all the crypto Twerpz. We know that there's a drop coming on Saturday where you can buy them on Waxstash. This guy actually gives you a drop. Is that for a certain time or for a lifetime of this project or?
The drop for Lucky, you mean?
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah, so we're just going to keep dropping them, and we're only going to make 100 of them. And one thing we are going to do is we're going to reserve a couple of the early mints, the low mints, for some auctions. And I just this obviously is not a money grab. We're raising funds to finish the project. We have a website to build. We have a sales site to build. We have we want to build support in for collections. And we want to do it the right way. We want to make it, we're going to do our best to add in a purchase by credit card during the sale, whether or not we
Which
can,
is not very easy to do.
It is a hell of a challenge. It really is, right? So a lot of different things have to come together in just the right way for us to be able to do this in December. And so far we're on our, we're basically right in line where we want to be right now. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to interact with these guys that really everybody understands what we're doing here. This is a unique thing. We're parodying well-known people, crypto personalities, and it's been a real joy to see people just come into our group and say, we love these cards.
Yeah,
we love what you're doing. This is absolutely amazing. It doesn't get any better than that for me. So that's what I live for, and if we're fortunate enough and, we do well in the Series 0 sale, maybe we'll go on to do a Series 1. And if we do a Series 1, maybe we'll be able to find some other artists that people really want to, maybe we'll get some, you never know who we might get, right? So, and of course, we would want to have our other artists back, the artists who've done these cards. We would love to have them back.
Build a relationship and everything.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah, but this is great, and we have been on here for a long time. I don't know if you have a lot of time. I wanted to dig into some of the NFTs on Ethereum and everything, and we actually wanted to mention something that. When you mentioned Kevin's name, that's something that he helped you with that went wrong with a blockchain that people might actually learn from.
Right.
So what happened? What's the story?
Yeah. So when Tiger King came out, which was a couple months ago or so, I bought a bunch of mega packs and made the mistake of listing. Well, I thought that I was listing one, but I was really listing a bundle of packs on one of the exchanges, and a big mistake on my part, right? And what happens is you do that, and when you realize your mistake and you try to cancel it, there are some snipers in there, right? And they're looking for the deals, and the sale went just like that, right?
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, you sold 40 packs for the price of one.
It was about 30, it was 36 for the price of what the going rate of one mega pack, which at that time, I think, if I recall correctly, maybe $60. So yeah, that's quite a bit of value that just, up in smoke in a second. And so what ended up happening was I knew Kevin at the time, and I told everybody, what had happened in some of our groups, and Kevin came to my rescue. He minted an NFT, and all it was just a simple white background NFT with some black text on it that said, and he sent it to the guy who bought my 36 packs, and it read, there was a problem with the platform. Please contact @EtherFan, on Telegram, immediately. And so the guy actually did see that NFT, and he started doing some checking, and he found out that, yes, this really did happen. And he sent me back about, 10 or so, it was 10 or 13, I can't remember, of my mega packs. And so this is something that we hadn't seen before, that you're using NFTs in a way to communicate with people. Yeah. And I thought that was so amazing, because everybody said, well, why don't you contact him? And I thought, well, there is no way to contact this guy. I mean, all I have is his address. And so that's when Kevin snapped into action and helped me out with that. And he just did it out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, here's a friend that is hurting, and, I'm going to do this for him. And so I've always thought very highly of Kevin and his work and everything. And since then we've become fairly good friends. And then, obviously I asked him if he wanted to be a part of the Twerpz team, and sure enough, he does. So, you're going to see, he's doing 2 cards in our set. You're going to see his first one. It may take us a couple of weeks to reveal that card, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I think our community is really going to enjoy it, right? So we've as I mentioned before, we started off on a really hard crypto influence, and then we kind of opened it up to non-crypto personalities.
Yeah.
And now what are we doing? We're sort of pivoting again, because everybody love the crypto personalities, and even if they don't know who they are, they want to learn about the stories behind these cards too, right? So I just gave away a little bit of a hint as to what Kevin's next card is going to be, but it is a crypto personality inspired. And we just want our artists to have a good time and do the art that they want to do. And so if they want to choose crypto related individuals, then so be it.
Yeah, and that is good. And one of the guys in the live stream actually said diverse artists, diverse buyers, which is also good, because the different art styles will attract different people. Like the only Garbage Pail Series one guy that I want is my Fat Matt that I have behind me on the wall there. The other ones I'm like meh, so yeah, that's fun. And worth adding on your mistake there is that that is very easy to do if you whitelist transactions to sell and buy things. I did that mistake just a few days ago on Atomic Assets. I have whitelisted sales because I was relisting a lot, and I was bugged with, otherwise it comes a pop-up, are you sure you want to do this? You can read and you say yes. But if you relist like 300 NFTs, it's annoying to have this pop up. So I just removed it and whitelisted it for a while. And that means that I actually accidentally put up an NFT for 1 wax instead of, I don't know if it was 100 or something. So it wasn't a big deal, to be honest, but it's still like a mistake that can happen if you whitelist an action.
Yeah, that's a teachable moment, right? And I think I had a moment in my life where I accidentally sent 0.01 ether. I know worse things have happened, but I sent it out into oblivion, right? And this is a good moment, after I mentioned what had happened with the 36 packs, to just really be careful about what you're doing, because there are some easy ways to lose value very, very quickly in this space. And when you whitelist it, then the next time you go, you can very easily click a button and all of a sudden you did something that you didn't mean to do.
Yeah, so whitelist, if you whitelist a buy action, you go to the website where they sell NFTs and you just click buy, and you don't need to sign anything. It's in your inventory, you have spent your wax, and there's no going back for that. And there are NFTs that trade for a lot of value. So if you make the mistakes and accidentally press it, or I don't know, your kid goes and take your mouse and just press a button, then it's bought. You can't return it. There's no way to give it back to the shop, because the shop is another person. Perhaps you could get some of it back if you send back the asset to the guy that sold it, if you know who it is. It's a nice guy, but there are fees that go away and everything, so there is a cost with it. So just be careful with the whitelisting.
And don't feel bad when you go and you try to contact the wax, and say, hey, this mistake happened, because this is something that's happened for many years too. I mean, once it's gone, right? There's no organization to appeal to get it back. So anyway, we've beaten that dead horse, but it sometimes you need to repeat it a couple times, because I've lost crypto before. I think every one of us, it's almost like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
To that's like your entryway, right? That's like the next level is when you lose something that you didn't intend, accidentally. And so
yeah, I don't have the private key for my first Ethereum address.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I don't even want to ask how much ETH you. Yeah,
No, it wasn't a lot on that one. There's a few ICO tokens that I bought and everything. I had it on a laptop. Laptop died. Shit happens. I thought I saved it. I saved another file. I didn't understand the Ethereum wallet, and at that time I didn't understand the diff. I mean, some Ethereum wallets you don't need the key. You just need the phrases and and then a password. And yeah, I lost it.
There was a story about a guy who encrypted his private key, then he encrypted the encryption, then he encrypted that encryption, and then he lost the access to the one. And it's just, I can see that paranoia where you're overdoing it, and then by overdoing it, then you screw yourself up, right? And that's it, and so all he has is a file now that he'll, who knows, you think about this, right? Who knows, maybe 10, 20 years from now, maybe the technology will exist to crack that and get into that. But, that doesn't help you right
it's
now.
it's not a good story. It's not a beautiful moment. But okay, so NFTs for me, I have only traded NFTs on Wax and EOS and other EOS.io chains. So you have done it a lot on Ethereum, and for me, looking from the outside, the user experience, it's slow. The gas fee is high for trading. So what are the benefits, and why are people still staying there?
Well, geez, what are the benefits, right? The benefit is basically the community, right? Is that the network effects, right? So you've got all these guys jammed into these platforms, and they're all watching, and they're all, there's a lot of activity. But then on the other hand, the gas fees are high, right? So, the other day I bought an NFT. Gas fee just for the purchase was $20. I mean, just the gas, and then you're paying for the actual asset to the author or the owner, right? And so, I think what it was Ethereum was basically the first to pioneer the idea of NFTs, and this is a good discussion to have, right? The question is, how long are people going to put up with that before they move over to something else? Can Ethereum fix this? I guess you could call it a problem. Yeah. I mean, I don't, this thing that they've got so that, they can keep everybody in that ecosystem, or are people leaking out? And I think that, well, I know that it's already happening, right? You see people leaking out to Engine, people are leaking out to Wax, and artists are now creating these NFTs on these other platforms. But then again, the problem is that there aren't a lot of people that are looking, right? So it just takes time, I think, to bring the communities over, and being right front and center in a project like this, we see it happening. It is happening. The artists are coming. People are asking us about wallets. They don't want to pay $20 in a fee. The artists don't want their buyers to pay that. And also, the onboarding experience. And I know some of the newer wallets are pretty slick these days, but something like MetaMask, if you're not already like somewhat technically savvy, it may be a little bit too much for you, right? It's an extension. You got to unlock the thing. You have to understand that that one extension can manage multiple accounts, and if you don't clearly understand that, you're going to be confused. You're going to be creating multiple wallets, and next thing you know, you've kind of lost yourself, right? You've lost.
Yeah, and I mean, MetaMask for me is for usability, and at the same time, it doesn't really help usability unless you already understand what you're doing, because it's not like I don't send it to my ledger. If I use the MetaMask, I use it like a hot wallet. I use it to do stuff on the blockchain, like access Uniswap or get some Ethereum and transfer it to a new place, and I mean, if I compare it to the Wax Cloud Wallet, which is the difference here is that the MetaMask is not the custodial. You own your private key and everything. But the Cloud Wallet, it both are made for usability to interact with apps, websites, to exchanges and everything, and the user interface. The difference on them, even though the Cloud Wallet is gonna be updated and become better, it's still better already.
Yeah, and you know, when we started this project, obviously you want the user experience to be really, really slick.
Yeah.
And so what did we see with Garbage Pail Kids? So if you don't know what you're doing at all, the very first step is create a Wax Cloud Wallet, right? And then the next thing is click how many packs you want to buy, and then enter in your credit card, or, you know, if you want to pay with Wax, you can do that. And then you do it, and then you have the packs, and then you're done. I mean, let's talk about, you know, what you would need to do if you did that on Ethereum. First of all, developing a pack contract on Ethereum and having all of that working is many, many, many thousands of dollars. I mean, that's not to say that it didn't cost anything to do what we did, but that I did do my research, and I did see that it was going to cost a ton of money to have this work done, because you have to hire a Solidity developer to do it, right? And then, oh boy, you know, we didn't foresee that the fees were going to be high. Now you've just completely killed your project, right? Because you can't trade. You can't trade when it costs $8 to just gift.
Yeah, I can't recall the name, but that game company on Ethereum just threw in the towel and gave up because they can't. No one uses their games when the fees are that high. They can't do anything.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, we've talked to some of the platforms, the NFT platforms, the marketplaces, and they are looking for other solutions. They are seriously looking into all the different things that might be available to them to get away from the gas fees, because the gas fees are hurting their bottom line. You know, so some of these other marketplaces, one of the most well-known ones is OpenSea.io.
Yeah.
They've been around for probably just about the longest, if not they are the most well-known. And you know, you can see that they've been hurt. They've been hit pretty bad on the gas fee side. Then you also have Rarible. I think it's Rarible.com or Rarible.io, and you know, there was a bunch of hoopla going on with that because they were giving away free tokens, and those tokens were mooning, and you know, there was a lot of fuss about that even in our community. And then there are a couple other ones. There's Known Origin, and there's one called Maker's Place. Is it Maker's? I keep wanting to say Maker's Mark, but I think it's Maker's Place. And then there's Mintable, and there's Super Rare, and it goes on and on and on. There's like at least a dozen well-known NFT marketplaces where you can mint cards, and it's very easy to do, right? But yeah, people are looking for greener pastures now, right? And while the art is excellent, it's still very hard to overcome that gas fee boundary. I mean, we have a couple of ETH-based crypto Twerpz posters that we put out there, and our reason for doing that was to kind of get people into Wax, right? So we put some of these on OpenSea, some of them are on Rarible, just to get people thinking, I want to go check out their website, right? It's a promotional strategy. But you know, they're not selling very well, right? I mean, I think the gas fee is just as expensive as the price for those posters now. So, you know,
yeah, and I mean,
$40 for a poster, you know.
Yeah, if you're one of the early Ethereum adopters and have a nice stash of Ethereum, you won't mind that much for the gas fees. You don't mind using Uniswap if you have a big stash, because if you're trading a high volume in value, it doesn't matter that there's a fee of $20 or $30 if you're trading thousands of dollars.
That's absolutely right.
But for the smaller persons, and like if I want to send, like I tested out Uniswap recently, and I bought something and then I had to approve a contract, and when I wanted to withdraw it and everything, it costed me $100. And for me, if I used one Ethereum, and like at that time, that's 30% of the value is just gone in fees. So if I want to increase my stash before I sell it to go back, it needs to go up at least 35-40%, or I won't get any profit at all.
I've been through that before, where you have to unlock the funds, right? Or there's another term I think that one of the other exchanges uses, but there's a really great exchange, one inch dot exchange, I think it is, 1inch dot exchange, and it's like a decentralized exchange aggregator. So it takes fees and prices from all these different exchanges, and it lets you, get really good deals, but only if you're doing significant volume, right? Would that really matter for you? But the same thing happened to me. I tried to use that exchange and I unlocked some funds, and it just crashed, and I didn't know what was going on. And and you're talking to, I mean, I've been around in the Ethereum space for 4 years, and I know all the ins and all the outs. And I kind of went, well, I guess I'll wait overnight and see if it works. And, eventually it did work, but that's not a very good, experience, right? I mean, you want to trade something, you want to trade it at the price that it's at.
Yeah, I had I mean, a Uniswap token was pretty hot. Most people listening probably know about it. And I had a friend that tried to take his drop because he got some tokens, and he actually had 2 wallets. So he got a nice chunk of Uniswap tokens.
Nice.
And he tried to claim one of them and send them out. And he increased the fees all the time because it was rejected. And even at $500, the gas limit, he didn't get it sent. He still can't move it. And I mean, he wants to talk to some support, someone that can help him, because something is clearly wrong. But who is there to talk to? I mean, you don't have a centralized team to talk to. You might find some help in the community. But yeah, it's kind of difficult. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess the way around all of these on Ethereum is to have a centralized marketplace for NFTs that you only send once, and you can trade them how much you want on there before you withdraw them. But that kills a little bit of the purpose of using Ethereum. Then you could just as easily use another place.
Exactly, and I think that there are some solutions brewing that are going to do exactly that. And I mean, the thing is, this is just, we're experimenting with every combination and every little thing that we can right now, right? And so, I have a very strong ideology, and my ideology is decentralization is the #1 importance, and everything else follows that. That's the #1 priority. And when you see chains starting up that are starting up decentralized with plans to eventually go decentralized,
the opposite way, I think you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy that, but I mean, we'll see what eventually comes long term. And there are pluses and minuses to both sides, right? I get it. I totally get it. And it's just, you want business. You want to be able to do business. You want to be able to transact. You want people to have a good experience. And so there is a bit of a scramble right now going around. And I think that Wax has done a really good job of, positioning itself as the king of NFTs, or whatever they call themselves now, right? And so I mean, I'm on board. I mean, this is a huge win, right? I mean, here's somebody who was in Ethereum for 4 years, and now I'm lured in by the Garbage Pail Kids because I'm a huge GPK fan. And look where I am now. I'm 95% of my time is in the Wax space. So, that wasn't by accident. That was planned. And, my hat's off to William Quigley and all the other fine guys and gals over there at Wax and Twerpz. And, Twerpz took a leap of faith too. And it worked out. So now we've got OS2 coming up, and
let's end the show with that, the OS2, because I know that you're excited about it, and I am as well. And so far we know that, well, we pretty much know that there will be a timed release. We don't know how many packs and everything. They have openly said that they are doing a lot of new things with this release, whatever that means. It seemed like they have put in a lot of resources into it this time. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't followed as closely as I would have, but with this project going on, it's just, this is 100% of my time. And but I get bits and pieces, and this is going to be a big release. I really believe that. I started collecting Garbage Pail Kids in 1986 with Series 2. And I think a lot of others did the same too. And look, we're all around. It's funny, when you ask everyone how old they are in the GPK community, early 40s, late 30s, right? All across the board, with some outliers, of course. But a lot of us started collecting them in Series 2. And so that should drop a little hint for some people that, you don't discount Series 2, because that was what we knew growing up. I didn't even collect Series 1 until later on, so when you're a kid and you see those cards, that's going to come back to you. And so I really think that OS2 is going to be a big launch. I hope that they do the supply, properly. I hope they don't go for broke and just mint, a million.
I think that the supply is not locked.
It's not locked.
Yeah, it's not locked. It's a timed release, like cogs. As many packs are sold, that's how many mints there will be. But they will have some burn feature to burn cards to get some special cards. And I don't know this, but I really hope that the way you burn them gets you cards that you cannot acquire without burning, because that adds a mechanism that makes it interesting. If it's okay, the burn feature is fun. You burn 5 cards, you get an upgraded card. You burn 5 of these, you get an upgraded card. Reduce supply, it decreases the supply of the top ones. But if it's a way to get the card that you cannot get in another way, then that is sweet.
I would be disappointed if they didn't do it the way that you're saying, right? You get a card that you can't get any other way. That would really make it worth burning all that stuff, I would think. It's, you look at the William Shatner stuff and a good effort, good try. And, my hat's off for, experimenting. But the idea of opening a pack and most of the card looks black, and you just have like a sliver of an image. I mean, I don't know. I think that, we'll see what OS2 does. I really hope that they listen to what their buyers want, what the community wants. And I also hope that they're present too. I hope that eventually they're not this, these guys in this white tower somewhere that nobody can ever access, and they're all us lowly guys down here on the ground. It would really be cool to have some interaction with Twerpz, the company, right? Because the other thing, and this is, I'm glad that we're talking about this, because the value of these cards is not just a function of, the art quality. Yeah, that goes into it, the demand of them, but it's also a function of the community, right? And everybody rallying around it, and just this fact that you can go to this community where these people and you have a common interest, and you can talk about, we can have different stories and different discussions about the characters in Twerpz, or Garbage Pail Kids, or whatever, right? So that part can't be understated. I think it's often not thought about, but community really means, I think, if anything, that's even a majority part of what makes these important and what makes people want them. And so I'm really excited about what we've created so far. 400 and coming up on 430 members in our Telegram.
Yeah.
And that's just showing that people are sure people want the giveaways. I get that, right? But they also are very, very interested in the cards, and we've taken it to a place where we're comfortable that we're just super excited let's get this launch going, guys. I'm really pumped about it. It's been a lot of work though.
Yeah, and the work is not done. If we take all the other launches, the last few days will be very fun for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some other things planned post-launch as well, right? And we don't want to just do what you see a lot of times is a big launch and then everybody just scatters and then thanks for the money. No, I mean, we're building a community. We really hope to launch Series 1 and maybe this thing has a life of its own. Maybe we're fortunate enough to go on and do series 2, 3, and more. So we want to take it to the next level. That's our goal. So this is an experiment. The Series 0 is an experiment, and I hope a lot of you partake in it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, and I think so as well, and I think that is a good exit point from this this chat. So thank you so much for coming on, and I think a lot of people will enjoy the details here, and we will try to link specific parts of the video to people so they know what we are talking about and at which place and everything. So
okay, sounds great. I appreciate you having me on, and if you wanted to do a little giveaway, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Just
So how would this giveaway work? We talked about it briefly before.
Right. I will leave it up to you. Like if you want to choose 5 people and then you just give me the addresses and I'll send them some promos.
Let's do it like this. If people comment below, so not in the chat, but actually comment below in the video, we will add those and we will randomize the draw for some of the Twerpz promo cards. So yeah, that's a good way to do it.
5. Well, I can give away 5 random promos, from the ones that you showed on the gallery. And let's do that. Yeah.
So let's do it like this: 3 on YouTube and 2 on Twitter. So if you share this video on Twitter and use the hashtag AnioEX. So Anio as in Anyobservation, but the first 4 letters, and EX as in experience. So AnioEX as a hashtag, because then it goes into my system and I will see all the ones that share it. So
awesome. That sounds fun. I can't wait to send out. I love being Santa Claus. I love sending out the promos, and if I may, just let everybody know, CryptoTwerpz.com, sign up to our mailing list.
Yeah.
We've got Twitter, Twitter.com, big C.
And these are linked below as well.
You got it all there. That's great. That's great. Thanks so much for doing that. I appreciate that very much, Anders.
Yeah, but appreciate you coming here and thanks for everything.
Thanks for having me. Have a great night and day, everybody.